Are all cases handled the same?
If you have a inexperienced, myopic approach to things, but no way. There's a huge difference in the way that cases are handled and should be handled. And it really comes down to the value of the case. And my experience is that a lot of lawyers kind of trick themselves into thinking that they can handle higher valued cases because they're handled the same way as a lower valued case. And the reality is they aren't. The higher valued cases require a completely different type of approach. And one thing in having worked with so many lawyers from across the country is a confidence level. That if a lawyer who handles 6-figure cases has never handled a 7-figure case, they're nervous on handling that first multi-million-dollar case.
Sure.
And their fear shouldn't prevent them from doing it. Their fear should drive them to get help and coaching to get them into that 7-figure area. But then there are lawyers who handle 7-figure cases and think handling a 7-figure case is the same as handling an 8-figure case, and that's not true either. And having had the honor of been right up that ladder, I've experienced it. And the best thing to do is ask lawyers for help. There are a lot of lawyers who are more than happy to help, but they aren't handled the same way. They are not negotiated the same way. Your adversaries are of a different caliber. The lawyers who defend 7- and 8-figure cases are not the same caliber of lawyer who defend smaller value cases. And how does that play out? Plays out in negotiations. Insurance companies monitor and they keep the data on what every lawyer does. And they know whether or not a lawyer is one to try a case or settle a case. They communicate that with their defense counsel. So there's a whole strategy that
they're building up their defense.
They're building up their defense and an expectation that the lawyer ultimately will settle the case. And what I find, and my experience is that the biggest mistake plaintiff lawyers make is that they pick the wrong cases to try. They settle their best cases and are forced to try their worst cases. And I've seen this play out many times. I know plenty of lawyers who have settled really good cases. They may say, well, I settled it because my client wanted the money or for whatever the reason may be. But that is their best case should not have been settled. And then what happens? They're left to try their worst cases. Why? Because the insurance company wants to take advantage of them and force them to invest money to try and stomp out their motivation. So I've seen lawyers who have tried cases that really shouldn't have been tried, but they've been forced to try, and then they lose. And they lose, and it really hits their desire to try future cases because they lose the confidence. And trying cases is all about confidence. So I always try to help lawyers anytime I can on all of their cases. But the first thing I say is pick the right case to try. Have the courage to try the good case. Don't be forced to try the bad case because it's a ding to your confidence. And don't let the fact that you may lose a case, frankly, that you should have lost.
Right.
Let's not forget about that. There's a reason why the insurance company has kept such a low number and saying, go try the case, because it's a case you should lose. It's the rare case. Of course, we hear about it. We celebrate it all the time. There was only a $20,000 offer and $1 million verdict. Well, you certainly hear about that. That's the rarity. What happens more frequently is it was a $20,000 offer and it was a no cause. It was a $10,000 and it was a no cause because there's reasons why they're only offering that. Settle those cases. Don't let the insurance company force you to try those. But on the good cases, if you have a case you think is worth $400,000, $500,000, $600,000, what I would encourage you to do is demand $7 million. Demand $7 million and tell the insurance company you're not budging. Then see what happens. Make sure your client's on board.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to
important.
to have your client on board when they're offering zero.
How do you get your clients on board?
When they're offering zero, there's no choice but to go forward. With a $7 million demand, they offer zero. We're never going to make an offer against that demand. Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. And then you let your client know they're offering nothing. We're going forward, and I'm optimistic and confident we're going to do really well. I can't control what the jury's going to do, but I'm optimistic we're going to do well. Those are the cases that you want to try, because then you have all the upside.
Mm-hmm.
You have all the upside.